68,000 is accepted. In pre-modern populations, about one quarter of the population consisted of males of military age. The total number for all those migrating is also in the realm of possibility. The 110,000 survivors, representing a third of those who set out, is more of a problem. The loss of more than two-thirds is possible, but it must have had a number of causes. The migration from beginning to end probably consumed about 3 months, with the final battle in late May or early June. Many, especially the sick and the infirm, may have perished along the way, and others simply settled along the route of migration. Once the battle casualties are included, which Caesar does not give, the figure for losses still seems too high, but there's no other evidence, and at least it's in the realm of possibility. End quote. By the way, Sage is no going to
Batman spells, Robin laid an
but his
egg.
point is well taken. We don't know how many people really were
Joker
there.
ran away.
Hey,
Manuel Bells, Batman spells, Robin laid an egg.
One
mobile lost its wheel and Joker ran away. Manuel Bells, Batman spells, Robin laid an egg. Mobile lost its wheel and Joker ran away.
That since the Helvetians were one of the great tribes you call them, we're talking about a lot of people here. You're not just talking about combatants at all. The end stages of this battle with Caesar at the Roman legionaries assaulting wagons. Oh, and I've been doing great fortification with all of the stuff that these people
Jingle bells, Batman spells, Robin laid an egg.
a bunch of occasions.
Batmobile lost its wheel and Joker ran away.
Back by the wagons, yelling back, fleeing routers after they've just decimated their formations, and those people run back to the wagons pursued by the Roman army. What do you think the Roman army does?
Rosemary Clooney is George Clooney's
They kill everybody. They
dog walker, just like Arnold Rockefeller.
One of the main things
Or
that
George
actually
Clooney,
protects lives on
George
a
Clooney
battlefield
is
like this is the prospect of selling the people that you can capture.
George Clooney
One
is
thing
this
a
Clooney.
person on a battlefield facing the battle lust of other people has in their favor, and the only thing they can work is I'm worth more alive than. And there's no doubt that lots of slaves were sold after this battle.
Are you
You
done?
can hear in your mind a cash register.
Super
Every time
hose.
who those people sold.
Everybody knows.
Caesar's there, if you recall, as he has these horrible debts at home.
Some mistletoe.
For a great Roman
That
to pay
becomes
off these
fake.
debts
I
in
like to
this
say
successful,
tots.
profitable campaign.
The spirit,
One of the main things you profit off of is the people you sell
tots.
afterwards.
Fuel type,
The
tiny
reason
tots.
Caesar came to this entire area to begin
Solid
with
glow.
has just been dealt with. After the battle, the Helvetians, essentially what's left of them, come to Caesar and say, we're in your power, we'll do whatever you want. He sends them home.
Know that
Rabbi's
on his way.
just for food and everything.
He's got lots of
The end result is you lose hundreds of
toys.
thousands of people to return things to the status quo. So why doesn't Caesar go home now? Well, he's noticed something he says in his works. It's been brewing for a while, and he's been doing some investigations, and he's uncovered a bunch of, stuff that the people in Rome should know about, stuff that he can't overlook. For example, he was already noticing that weird stuff was happening with the Gallic troops, the friendly Gallic troops he was using in his army. The Romans, for example, don't produce cavalry during this period. They produce legionaries, heavy infantry, men armed with a heavy throwing javelin and a devastating, nasty sword. The cavalry is raised from local friendly peoples, in this case a lot of Celtic peoples, with tribes allied to Rome, but they're doing things on the battlefield
that was great, man. And then it was like templates.
They're not altogether loyal.
Rosemary Clooney, her dog walker was George Clooney.
They go up against a few hundred of the enemies, and then all of a sudden flee in terror.
And that's how he got his start, kids. Few people know George Clooney got his start as Rosemary Clooney's dog walker, and then his dad was on television since then. But little did people know about his connection to Rosemary Clooney's dog. What was the dog's name? I don't recall. It's Rufus. Rufus the dog? You have to ask George.
They were supposed to provide the food, but the food's not coming. He says he keeps getting these excuses. Oh, it should be.
Yeah, it was Rufus. How did he know? How did Rabbi's fucking smart as shit?
So he starts investigating that too, calling some of these nobles into his office and saying, "Where the hell's the food? What's going on here?"
Are you done? Oh, Christ.
And it all comes to a head after this battle with the Helvetians, because he says that all the other,
oh my Christ, oh my Christ,
leaders come to his location
no internet
to
connection.
congratulate
Remember when
him
it
on
was
his
like no
victory
internet
and all
connection?
these kinds of stuff. And then they say to him, "Can we see you in the back room privately?"
My friend Yoshi.
So he calls them into the back room privately, and they instantly all fall to their feet, beseeching him, tears in their
I liked
eyes.
it.
They give him, he says,
Look at that one. It just went
this
down.
sob story about, please, you have to save us from this German king who's taking over Gaul. I told you about this guy, right? He was the guy who was brought in when these two tribes of Gauls that were historic enemies were looking for an edge. And so the one tribe thought, let's invite these Germans over and they'll give us the edge and we'll win the battle, which they did.
What the fuck is this shit?
Destroyed the nobility of the other side, but then the Germans didn't leave, as we said. In fact, according to this group of people that comes to Caesar, he's taken all their children hostages, and anytime they move the wrong way, he tortures them and does bad things to them. Caesar's now speaking to a Roman audience and basically saying,
it does not get more Jewish than that.
These poor Gauls who are allies and friends of the Roman people, can Caesar stand for that? Of course Caesar can't stand for that. What's more,
you are so good looking. That's going to be one of the most famous sneezes of all time.
Because you've got people in their own tribes who are disloyal, right? You know the tribes that are enemies of Rome are disloyal, but these are people in tribes that are nominally friends of Rome, but they have huge numbers of fifth columnists that want to work for the Gallic cause instead. Now again, Caesar's portraying this as sinister and bad to a Roman audience. It's hard not to see these troublemakers that Caesar talks about, though, as anything other than Gallic patriots. If you're looking at it from their point of view, I mean, the people that are here beseeching Caesar for help, these are like the quislings, aren't they?
Do you like how it said no internet connection? Was that your favorite part of it, or?
Just like the tribes in Africa, these people have historic enemies amongst their own kind.
Remember when I was connecting a pain
disputes and memories of tit-for-tat revenge cycle killings that go back forever, and these were able to be exploited in Africa and the New World by European powers, in Gaul by the Romans, exquisitely. I mean, it is the Romans who invented the phrase that we use today, to divide and conquer. That's what they're doing in Gaul, and Caesar's using some tribes against the others, and these tribal leaders are telling him, we just want you to know, we have large factions in our own tribes that are working against you. They're the ones that kept the food from coming to you. They were the ones leading your cavalry when the thousands of your cavalry turned and fled in terror from a few hundred of the enemy. In other words, Caesar's got them all around him. And this becomes an excuse to stay. What's more, when Caesar says this German king is oppressing all these people, he basically says, so the Gauls want us to stay, I have to stay to defend them. And the enemy has just shifted from Gallic people to new people. Now, let's understand, whether or not these new people really were a new people is open for debate. Caesar makes them a new people in his writing because it serves the purposes of his writing. It's an outside power.
That's a good idea. Really? Yeah, man, this is really good. Really? Oh, yeah.
Just killed 100,000 or more people.
Remember when it was like, hey, dog?
He's now the savior of the Gauls, and he's staying. Now, I should point out, most seem to think that that was not his initial plan once he originally set out to change the course of the Helvetian. But there's a lot of disagreement over at what point Caesar crystallized this that I'm taking it over. Many historians have spoken about this. Andrew Rigsby, for example, this tendency in Caesar's writings sometimes to give a hint of the idea that Gaul is maybe kind of doomed anyway, and that it's like a vulnerable animal in the geopolitical herd, and somebody's going to get it and better us than the Germans.
Hey, animal in the geopolitical herd.
It's the Germans that form this new counterpoint in the story when they appear in the
Hey,
scene,
geopolitical herd.
up until now, Caesar hasn't really
How about
had
you,
an
boy?
antagonist. When you're stopping a migration of a tribal people, who's the bad guy in that, right? Even though Caesar had some bad guys involved in the conspiracy initially, by the time he's involved, they're dead. So he's never having any sort of one-to-one Darth Vader versus another Sith confrontation.
There you go.
She's also got that
I really like that one. Really? Yeah, dog. Why? Boy, this is like, remember when it'd be like silent? But then it would be like, well, I would like it when it's, look at that. Look at that. Look, I got Sally to
Let's step back and think for the sake of those who are huge Julius Caesar fans, because how can we ignore how quickly everything here has happened? That's a hallmark of Caesar, by the way. Moving with speed and determination, focusing on the core This is all happening in the year 58 BCE. Television migration is during the same year, and let's remember they hardly ever campaign in the winter. So this is really
also how I got hooked on opiates. But it was one of the first times I ever got opiates. Oh, was it? Oh, no, it wasn't. But it was. I can see how you get hooked. Let me say, like, I can see how you get hooked on opiates that way. Really, yeah. But I had my wisdom teeth out, and I was back at work the same day. Really, yeah. I shouldn't say I didn't miss any time. I had to work that night. I had my wisdom teeth out, and that's just a pretty serious surgery. I worked that day. Really, yeah. I never until I got hospitalized.
So when Caesar confronts Augustus,
why? Because I can't get some big names. If I'm gonna go big, I'm gonna go big all the way. Really? I'm not trying to go. Fuck you, bitch!
Who solves it, comes home, celebrates a triumph, and it's happily ever after. I do have to remind myself, though, how this has a feel of Caesar's kind of being at the end of the Earth Second. He's like a heavily armed version of the Lewis and Clark expedition. He feels the need for the narrative to tell the people back at home what these Germans, he calls them, are like. What are their customs? What gods do they believe in? What do they look like? How do they fight? Supposedly, the Romans had dealt with these people militarily before, right at the time Caesar's born. Remember, the Cimbri and the Teutons invaded from the north unexpectedly in a national security crisis. If you've forgotten, Caesar will remind you over and over again in his commentaries. It's a great way to justify going out for the Germans, to remind you that every now and then they come after us. But other than that, not a lot to go on, so Caesar explains to the folks back home, that these Germans are essentially like the Gauls on steroids. The Gauls are tall, the Germans are that much taller. If the Gauls are blonde, the Germans are blonder. If the Gauls fight in a war-mad, berserker, crazy frenzy, the Germans do that more often, and their frenzy's deeper than the Gauls. And Caesar kind of says that compared to the Gauls, the Germans are primitive. So if we're using our tribal scale, the Gauls are moving up to like 3s and 4s and 5s. The Germans are 1. Just, Caesar would have you believe just graduated from caveman status. He says they don't even really practice agriculture, which none of the modern histories or stuff by archaeologists that I've read, none of them believe that. They all think the Germans practiced agriculture, but there you go. Caesar says that the Gauls used to be able to stand up to the Germans in battle, but that they can't anymore. Essentially saying that they're gun shy, that they've lost so many battles, that they've lost the psychological edge, if you will. And that becomes another one of those unquantifiable things, doesn't it, that affects human history. We talked about intimidation on a personal level, but what happens when you get a group of skittish, scared, unpredictable human beings together and then try to quantify the impact of the mass amount of psychological intimidation? If you've lost 3 battles to the Germans already and you're lining up to fight your 4th, how much does the history of how you've done against them recently play into your ability to stand up to them now? And of course, if the Celtic people can't stand up to the Germans anymore in a dog-eat-dog war, what does that mean for the long-term ability of Gaul to remain free and independent? So if you're looking at this from the Roman viewpoint, you can kind of see how you might come to the conclusion, we're going to have all these German people right next to us in Gaul soon. So Caesar goes and begins a conversation with his German leader. He essentially tells the German leader, okay, all this stuff has to stop. He says he begins a correspondence. He sends a message to him. He says, can we please meet halfway between our 2 locations because we have important matters to discuss. This is all in Caesar's commentaries, by the way. He says that the German king replied by saying, essentially, if I have something to say to you, I come to you. If you have something to say to me, you come to me. And And then begins a line of discussion that's hard to understand if you're looking at this from Caesar's point of view, because the German leader begins to question Caesar about, maybe you could say, the legality as they would understand it in the ancient world for all these things he's doing, and cites legal arguments that you couldn't use now. You'd have to be a Nazi to use arguments like right of conquest today, but that was something that was actually sometimes part of the rules back then. And this German leader would cleverly say over and over again, we're not doing anything you don't do. So why are you interfering? The arguments that Ariovistus makes through the pen of Caesar are just as compelling as the ones that the Helvetians kind of made when they were trying to ask the Romans, can we please come through your territory? It's a humanitarian crisis, maybe. And a modern readership has a whole different feel for it, maybe, than Caesar's audience would. Because Ariovistus looks to the modern reader maybe to be making some really good points. And Caesar tells him in the next letter, which is much more direct, you will do this, you will do that. We're going to have problems. He says you're going to release the hostages of our allies. You're going to stop attacking our allies. You're going to stop bringing more Germans over the Rhine River. And Ariovistus, straight up answers him. Caesar basically says with defiance, but here's the problem. The only information you have about this is from Caesar. And in one sense, he's the best person in the world to give it to, because he met this guy face to face and talked to him. On the other hand, he's the worst person in the world to tell this to, because nobody has more of a vested interest in slanting it his way. Caesar says the message that came back from this barbarian, again, not sounding very much like a barbarian, maybe barbarian lawyers helping him out with the legalese. He says to Caesar, this is from the essay and for an edition of Caesar. Quote, in reply, Ariovistus said that it was the recognized custom of war for victors to rule the vanquished in any way they pleased, and that the Romans acted on this principle by governing their conquered subjects, not according to the dictates of any third party, but at their own discretion. Since he did not dictate to them how they were to exercise their rights, he ought not to be interfered with in the exercise of his. It was because the Aedui, that tribe that's allied to Rome, it's because the Aedui had tried the fortune of war and were the losers in the fight that they had to pay him tribute, and Caesar was doing him a serious wrong in coming to Gaul and causing him a loss of revenue. He would not return the hostages to the Aedui, but would refrain from making any wanton attack upon them or their allies if they kept their agreement and paid the tributes regularly every year. If they did not, the title of Brothers of the Roman People would not save them from the consequences. I am not impressed, he concluded, by Caesar's threat to punish my, in quotes, oppression of these people. No one has ever fought me without bringing destruction upon himself. Let him attack whenever he pleases. He will discover what German valor is capable of. We have never known defeat. We have had superb training in arms, and for 14 years we have never sheltered beneath a roof. End quote. Caesar's mind, that's basically the equivalent of saying it's on. So he starts to send his army toward the German. He says the German starts to send his army toward Caesar. There's this strategic town that ends up between the two armies. So Caesar basically goes day and night pushing his men to get there first. Gets there first. They lock themselves in this Celtic town and prepare to defend it. And all looks pretty good for Caesar, except that the people that have taken over this town, his soldiers, start talking to the local Gallic people. And those people start telling Caesar's troops about these Germans and what they're like and how they can't look them in the face without running away. Caesar's old gossips makes his army scared. And the rumors of what the Germans are like freak him out. And he specifically singles out, you have to love this, the folks back home in Rome probably need too. Those young men on the make, sort of the sons of the rich senators and whatnot, who need a little military experience on their resume before they start their running for Roman office. Nothing too scary, you understand. So maybe just a nice, we can go after some migrants of Caesar, look at their resume. And all will be well. Caesar says that when they're looking to Caesar, he's ferocious, scary, unknown, beasts from the edge of the world, the galling people that normally scare the and said, oh, please scare us. Caesar says the ego all of a sudden you're finding the good reasons why they're urgently needed back in Rome.
Huh? These people like, you cheat on me, motherfucker. This guy's like, I haven't spoken to another woman since I first talked to you ever.
Strange times and they're bemoaning their fate and all this kind of stuff, which of course, let's be honest, now Caesar's built up his enemies and when he conquers them, he'll be that much greater. He's also creating a need in the army for him, because he's going to go in there with a combination of shaming people, but also logical arguments, throw in a little bit of theater, and Caesar says, anyway, I put the army into shape, and let's be honest, we've seen this with other Greek generals
And then you
also.
can't really with that Vaseline.
The people associated with Greek generals with the ability to turn around the morale of their troops and rally them. Caesar says then, as soon as the German approaches, the king of the Germans, Augustus, says, okay, now that I'm here, we can have this discussion. Caesar has this wonderful moment on like a hill in the middle of a giant, flat area, and they weren't allowed to bring their armies close to each other, so their armies are like in the distance, and only 10 guys on horseback are supposed to accompany each leader, and we're told they have the conversation.
You call my BFF Linda. Her name is Bart. She calls my husband her husband in law. My eyes were red.
Caesar says basically the same thing he said in a note to this German.
She calls my husband her husband. What's the
question? Caesar's right to do this.
So you're saying that it happened to you?
You decide what happens to him afterwards.
Have we found Sarah? Yes, check out the video. Oh, hell yeah, girl. Hell yeah. Give me in on this, baby. Give me in on this.
Take your arm out of this country right now. And then he tells him, but if you do it right now, I'll be happy to be your muscle man here in Germany. And all the time you need to say, you have to lift a finger and I'll do it for you. So it's a little bit of a carrot and stick sort of offer. And once again, if you were a neutral arbitrator, you might say something like, hey, that's not a bad deal. So let's stop for a minute and say, he's really dying at this point in the story for an outsider's viewpoint. Anyone else besides Caesar, because he's really tough to read at this point. Why is he putting these sorts of, accusatory good arguments into the mouth of one of his characters that he wants you to want him to conquer? I mentioned earlier there were a couple of people that came after Caesar. Suetonius is one, that's not the one after Caesar, about a century after, 2 centuries after, there's a guy named Cassius Dio. Dio has a much more gritty view of Caesar and his motivations, and essentially he's one of those guys that falls into the camp and sees Caesar doing this for the most base reasons you can think of. He's involved in this monumental gamble in the politics of Rome, where his involvement in this region, risking his life and devoting his entire existence year after year to this cause in Gaul, is only because of what benefits he can glean from it in the politics of Rome. And he's desperately in need of things like money and conquests and honors, and he's got to keep this military command going, because the moment that his term in office is over, he's prosecutable by his enemies, and they're licking their chops back at him. At the same time, at least at this point in history, he has to assume that this is not a permanent command, so he's on a bit of a time clock. If Caesar really wants to do these great things he's going to end up doing in Gaul, he's got a limited amount of time to do it. And Cassius Dio is one of the people that says that everything Caesar's doing here is the equivalent of poking the Germans with a stick, trying to get them all roused up so he'd have an excuse to go in there and kill a bunch of them. Dio, by the way, confuses us entirely by saying that Ariovistus is the king of the Germans, he's a king of the Celts. That means one of two things. Either Cassius Dio is a lazy Roman ethnographer, and there were plenty, and doesn't really draw a distinction. But if he's accurate, then you have to say, why did Caesar call him a German? What's the point of Caesar doing that? What does he gain by creating this new group of people that may have been a generic name that once upon a time only applied to one tribe in modern-day Germany?
Really?
This from my Herbert Baldwin Foster edition, by the way.
Son? Really? Oh, son!
Pronouns,
I'm in the
pronouns
car.
sometimes confusing, so I'm gonna
Sarah, God.
insert the name of the person he's
What's this
talking about.
motherfucker's name?
Use of
How he
pronouns
said.
makes more sense.
Girls are too much like.
Dio writes,
And
quote,
it's true. What?
now,
These guys cheat
Ariovistus
on
was
them,
the ruler
but
of
they're
those Celts.
stronger
His dominion
physically.
had been
Because the girl
ratified
goes
by
after the
actions
other
of the
girl.
Romans, and he had been
Why does
registered
the
among
guy
their
beat
friends
the
and
shit out of
allies
the
by
girl?
Caesar himself in his consulship. In comparison, however, with the glory to be derived from the war and the power which that glory would bring, the Roman general, Caesar, heeded none of those considerations, except as insofar as he wished to get some excuse for the quarrel from the
Are any
barbarian,
of these
so that
real?
it should not be thought that there was any
No.
grievance against him,
Not
Caesar,
a
at
single
the start.
one of these.
Therefore, he sent for Ariovistus,
Why?
pretending that he wanted to hold some conversation with him. Ariovistus, instead of obeying,
People will just
replied,
be like, know exactly what I
this is
mean.
close to Caesar's own description, by the way. If Caesar wishes to tell me anything, let him come himself to me. I am not in any way inferior to him, and a man who has need of anyone must always go to that person. At this,
Inside
Caesar
of this
showed
area, the
anger
claim
on the grounds
to a
that
city
Ariovistus had insulted
to
all the
page up here.
Romans, and Caesar immediately
Another
demanded
page
of Ariovistus
in Greek,
the
though,
hostages of the
having
allies,
episode
and
page.
forbade him either to set foot on their land or to bring against them any auxiliary force from home. This Caesar did not do with the idea of scaring him, but because he hoped to make him furious, and by that means to gain a great and fitting pretext for the war. What was expected took place. The barbarian, enraged at the injunctions, made a long and outrageous reply, so that Caesar no longer being able to intervene. That's a point from the Ariovistus. Cassius Dio also gives a very different account.
Reality.
Caesar rallying his terrified Romans in the Gallic town that we just discussed, rather than being one of the few non-terrified who spread his lack of fear to his entire army. Dio basically has the troops looking at what they're up against and thinking maybe that they shouldn't be up against them. They're not so mad at the Germans, they're mad at the guy who put them in a situation where they should be fighting the Germans. And according to Dio, they are very aware of what role they play in this whole thing. They're the pawns in Caesar's game to further Caesar's career. And they also seem to realize, politically speaking, that this is outside the boundaries, maybe, of what the Romans themselves would consider a legal military venture. Cassius Dio says, when these Romans are scared in that Gallic town, they're scared because they keep hearing about the Germans and the Germans are coming. He says it leaves them deeply dejected. And then he says, quote, alarmed by the stature of their enemies, by their numbers, their boldness, and consequent ready threats, they were in such a mood as to feel that they were going to contend not against men, but against uncanny and ferocious beasts. And the talk was that they were undertaking a war which was none of their business and had not been decreed, merely on account of Caesar's personal ambition, and they threatened also to leave him in the lurch if he should not change his course. End quote. That's not a bunch of scared soldiers who get their fear rallied out of them by a charismatic leader. This is a bunch of troops who fully realize what's going on here, are angry at their leader for putting him in this position, and are threatening mutiny if he doesn't change the course he's on. I mean, that's a very different story right there, isn't it? I'm not sure it really matters, though, in terms of how it reflects on Caesar's reputation, because either way, it really says something about the guy that was able to rally those troops and put them in a position, in a state of mind where they could face this German leader, either a king, or maybe Ariovistus was an elected war leader for a confederation of tribes it's argued about. But that's a guy, Ariovistus, who has the entire east central part, in fact, you could say most of Gaul cowed by his power and authority. And Caesar turns these either mutinous or petrified with fear, or some combination of the two troops, and gets them out in the field against this guy. Now, the way the battle shapes up, supposedly, is it starts with a bunch of maneuvering. This is the very unsexy side of military history. The like yours truly, who like to cover exhibitions we like are nice, well-organized and set up field battles in a nice level valley where you've had a lot of time for both sides to set up, and then you have your sort of big encounter. But truthfully, in real history, if one of the generals had done his job or her job, you should have the other side beaten by the time you get to that point. And it's sometimes the big maneuvering on the strategic level that does that, but sometimes it's just the little shading here and the slight advantage there, and they all add up. Generals throughout history have been almost neurotic about figuring out the little elements that need to gain advantage. And there are quite a few different periods in history where, because of the military technology and the limitations, if both sides didn't actively want to fight a battle, sometimes it didn't happen. If one side wanted to avoid it, but oftentimes it was easy to do. The 17th and 18th century probably, like the high water mark of that a few hundred years ago, where because of the way things were, if one side didn't want to fight a battle, it almost never happened. So in this period, Caesar and the German commander are both sort of jockeying for position and maneuvering. And one of the things about the Romans that makes them so, again, another unsexy side of military history, but the Roman soldiers are about half devastating soldier and about half construction worker. And these people could set up fortifications in real time in a way that actually affected the battles. In a day-to-day situation, in the case with Ariovistus, the maneuvering actually takes the form of both sides trying to march around the other and camp on their lines of supply, so cut them off. When the Germans did it, they would take wagons and whatnot, supposedly, with them, and sort of, put them in a circle like pioneers in the Old West used to do. Of course, they had a lot more wagons. We're talking about a lot bigger structures. But when the Romans would build a camp, even a small sub-camp, they would build it like an old fort in the old American West. We're talking about timber and guard towers and maybe even artillery in the guard towers. And the Romans were so good at this, and often did it every night when they were out in the field, that they had this down to a science. Everybody knew exactly where to go and how to do and what it was going to look out. The layout was always the same. So when the Romans camped on your line of supply, you'd wake up the next morning and there would be a fort there where there was open country the day before. So then, after the initial maneuverings, once the Romans have this fort in too good of a position, the Germans are launching attacks against the fort, and those are beaten off. And there's a bunch of this kind of preliminary, but still pretty large-scale skirmishing before Caesar, maybe some historians think, is beginning to have supply problems himself. There's a lot more of the natives around him here, and he seems to be in danger and needing to fight a battle or get out. And so he says he draws the army up in battle formation and marches it out toward the Germans on several occasions, by the way. By this time period, the Roman battle formation, by the way, is 3 big lines deep, usually. And Caesar says that's the way he lines up. And just so you know, that means a different thing from ranks. Ranks are the number of troops that are lined up, one behind the other. And oftentimes, each of these lines is between, and this is not just for Romans, for anyone, 4 to like 16 ranks deep. A pike formation, maybe 12 or 16 ranks. The Romans were 4 to 8. But then there'll be a dead zone of maybe 50 yards, 30 yards, 100 yards, and then there'll be another line of men lined up in ranks. This would be the Roman second line, and then the Romans would often have a third line. This seems like common sense when you think about it today, but in the ancient world, this was very unusual. The Romans have reserves, and time and again it will save them in these battles, because they will find out, something's going wrong someplace, and guess what? We have about 20 to 25% of our total force unengaged, just sitting back there. Throw them into the troubled area, and time and again it saves them. In this battle, Caesar is very cut and dry. Remember, this is not a true history he's writing. This is supposed to be sort of in the format of, dispatches from the front. And sometimes he'll talk about, what's going on in the battle at length, but you would think with a really important one like this one, he'd go into great detail, and he doesn't. He basically says, when the real clash of arms comes, this battle was supposed to have been fought, most historians think, in what's now Alsace, but no one's sure. Probably on the west bank of the Rhine somewhere. The Romans probably had in the neighborhood of 30,000 men. The Germans, who knows? You usually see from 50 to 100,000, although you get the occasional outlier. I love Hans Delbruck, as you know, and he's usually a great neutral arbitrator, unless there's Germans involved, in which case he's got his homework glasses on, and he doesn't see things quite as unbiased. He thinks the Romans outnumber the Germans, but he's unusual, so we'll set him aside there and just assume the Romans are probably somewhat outnumbered, perhaps 2 to 1 in the worst case scenario. Caesar says that the battle takes place so quickly there's no time for the usual exchange of missiles. The Romans love to throw those heavy javelins. They do a lot of damage when you throw them, all at once. Hundreds or thousands of men throwing these heavy javelins all at once. But the Germans and the Romans end up charging each other too quickly for that, and it gets right to a sword slog right away. Caesar says that the flank he's on begins to push the German flank opposite them back, but that the other Roman flank on the far side of the battlefield is being overwhelmed by the German numbers. He then says that a Roman officer that he names by name, because he's on horseback, can see the problem from a distance and realize, somebody better order the third line that's not doing anything right now in to fix the situation, and he does so, and he saves the battle. Caesar, by the way, names this person as the son of the richest guy in Rome, Crassus, who, if you recall, is one of the members of the first triumvirate with Caesar and Pompey. So you see, in a way, Caesar still doesn't forget, where his bread is buttered and how to play the wonderful game of politics, and you scratch my back and I scratch yours. Remember, Caesar was allegedly not able to leave Rome at one point because his creditors wouldn't let him out of the city until Crassus paid the bill. Well, now all of a sudden, here in this battle where Caesar doesn't go into depth about much of anything, he goes out of his way to mention a single individual, the son of the guy who paid the debts for him. And by the way, he's basically saying, without that guy, we'd have lost that battle against the Germans. That's a little bit of a honor to the family, isn't it? So maybe paying back a favor, or maybe putting Crassus in debt for a future one. Nonetheless, Caesar's never far from playing the game. In this case, the game is deadly, as you might imagine. These Germans, once again, are supposed to have come with the wagons and the families and the women on the wagons, with the disheveled hair screaming at the men, please don't let us fall into slavery. The problem with having all these women and wagons on the battlefield is obviously that at some point the battle moves from where it started to the wagons and the people in the wagons, and once again we have a battle where it's implied more than laid out for you, but that the Romans kill a lot of civilians, including some of the relatives of Ariovistus, who somehow gets away, but we don't hear any more from him. The Germans will run miles to the Rhine, Caesar says. There will be more Germans that are just about to come over and help, and as soon as they hear about the big defeat of Ariovistus, they turn around and go home. What Caesar's doing here from a macro perspective, though, if you think about it, is that there were a bunch of powers that were the power brokers in this region before Caesar intervened, and that would have been last year. So think about how quickly everything's happening. Caesar has essentially neutered one of the Helvetian, one of the most powerful tribes of the Celts, is now a shadow of what it was just months before, because of what Caesar did to it. And now this player from outside the Stratego or Risk map board who come in and intervened in Gallic politics is smashed and sent packing back over the Rhine, this thing that Caesar portrays as a border. What's crazy to think about is that all of this has happened in the year 58 BCE. Because when you think about the ancient world, you think about a world that in many cases moves much more slowly than the modern one. And yet Caesar has a blitzkrieg going on in Gaul. He says, and some historians will date 3 battles, some will date 2 battles, depending on whether you consider that first slaughter of the Helvetians, when a quarter of their number were caught on the far side of the river, to be a battle or not. But nonetheless, in that one, really 6 to 8 months, because they don't campaign most of the time in winter, Caesar's done all this damage and changed the power structure of this region. If he thought it was destabilized before he got involved, and that was the excuse for getting involved, he's totally destabilized it now. But winter's coming, so what does Caesar do? Well, he puts his army in winter quarters and he goes back to the area just north of Rome to keep an eye on Roman politics and sort of think about his next move. Now, here's the thing. You could make a case if you wanted to, and some have, that everything Caesar just accomplished was done, in a crisis situation, in hot pursuit. Whether it was the migration of the Helvetians, which is, as we said earlier, it's like if you woke up this morning and found 200,000 people, on your border, just unexpectedly, it'd be some sort of a crisis. So that's the way Caesar portrays it. So if you give him the benefit of the doubt, you say, well, he had to react. You couldn't go back to Rome and ask for votes and authority. That's part of what you do as a head of the province. You go in there and you roll with the punches. So Caesar had to do that. And then the Germans and their involvement, that was also the same thing. They were coming over the border. It was getting worse. It was a critical situation. But now you're taking the winter off. We go from a hot blood situation to cold blood. You can think about what you want to do now. I love the way Tom Holland, as an author, he's created a sense of suspense. And he portrays the Gauls at this point in his book Rubicon as sort of waking up together to the fact that they're in the process of being conquered. It's a strange thing, but it's happening so quickly. And because the Gallic tribes are separate from each other, if they conquer the tribe next to you, does that mean you're being conquered? Well, not necessarily, and you might not be too panicked. But if enough of the big tribes near you are being conquered, and if you happen to know just a little of the history of Roman behavior in other Celtic areas, Spain, for example, or northern Italy, or what's now southern France, you understand that these Romans have a track record. They come in, they defeat the Celtic people, they begin to settle, and in a generation or two, the Celtic people become short-haired Gauls, and in a couple of generations after that, they become toga-wearing Gauls. And Tom Holland presents this case where once Caesar puts his troops in winter quarters in the middle of Gaul, it sends a signal to everyone that, hey, wait a minute, he's here to stay. And if we're going to prevent a complete takeover, as has happened to other Celtic peoples, it's time to get serious about defending this place. Tom Holland writes, quote, that winter of 58-57 BC, rather than withdrawing his legions back into his province, Caesar left them billeted 100 miles north of the frontier, deep in the territory of a supposedly independent tribe. Once again, an illegal measure was justified by the proconsul as an act of forward defense. This was an argument that may have satisfied public opinion back in Rome, but it did nothing to ease a mounting sense of outrage in Gaul itself. The full implications of Caesar's new policy were by now starting to hit home. What precisely would satisfy the Romans' desire for a defensible frontier? If the Rhine to the east, then why not the Channel to the north, or the Atlantic coast to the west? Across frozen forests and fields, from village to village, from chieftain's hall to chieftain's hall, the same rumor was born. The Romans were aiming to pacify all Gaul, that in quotation marks, as warriors burnished their glittering jewel-wrought shield.